Yeah.
Hello, this is Team A from IIIT Hyderabad, and this is our problem statement. So we have to design a unity gain amplifier with two op amps, TL082 the op amp number. So here we have got two resistor divider networks defining the uh, feedback ratio alpha, and so the feedback path and both the inverting terminals are connected together, and the input is applied to the non-inverting terminal of op amp 1, and the output is collected at this node VO here. So we have just implemented this circuit in TINA software, so where the power supplies are in dual mode, that is plus or minus 10 volts, and here the input is a sine wave of amplitude 100 millivolts probably. Yeah, its amplitude is 1 volt, and we have got these resistors R1 and R2 10k and 1k connected as per the circuit diagram, and we now just simulate the circuit. So we feed the frequency from 1 kilohertz to 1 megahertz, and yeah, so these are simulation results where the gain is constant at 0 dB for a certain length of frequency, and there is a small deviation from the ideal graph, which should be a straight line until here. So this is probably because of pole 0 and pole pair introduced here. So, and the gain drops after that. So this point where the gain meets the 0 dB axis is going to be the unity gain bandwidth, and the gain drops after that. So the phase response, so we have got the phase response here where we'll be having a 45-degree phase shift at the first pole, so it should be somewhere here, and then we'll be having a second pole here at 90-degree phase shift, and then the phase just decreases to 180-degree with at frequency infinity the phase should reach 180-degree. So this is our simulated plot, and now we'll go to the practical implementation of the circuit. So this is our practical setup where we have used the this fourth op amp TL082. It has two inbuilt op amps within it, and this is our dual power supply, plus 10 volt and minus 10 volts. So we have got display plus 10 volts, and we have got a dual supply out of it. So we have made the connections, so the power supply and the input signal from the signal generator. So right now it's 1 kilohertz sine wave of amplitude 100 millivolts, and this is connected to the non-inverting terminal of the first op amp, and the rest of the connections are made as per the circuit diagram. So yeah, this is the setup, and this is our CRO setting where we have shown both the input and output in both of the channels. So the channel 1 is our input signal, and channel 2, this lower one, is the output signal. So now we'll just vary the so right now it's in 1 kilohertz, so we are sweeping the frequency, increasing from 1 to 2 kilohertz. So now we can see the both the output tracking the input, and so it's the same 610 kilohertz. still the signal amplitudes are same. And still they are same. And probably right now we can see a small increase in amplitude of the output signal, and the amplitude of output is slightly greater than the input. So this is because of the 0, which corresponds to the simulated result. So it's clear now. So the output amplitude is a bit higher than the input one. And so it's still higher following the graph. And now it is starting to fall, the output amplitude. So probably this corresponds to the second pole shown in the graph. So the frequency at which the output amplitude crosses 0 dB line, I mean the frequency at which the gain is 1 second, so that will be our unity gain bandwidth, so which is something around 240 kilohertz, and the gain reduces further and further. And its gain has reduced much further. And this is the frequency at 1 megahertz, so you can see the gain is like too small at this point. So we have noted down the values over here, which can be seen in the Excel document. So the first three columns correspond to the gain versus frequency measurements, and the rest correspond to phase versus frequency measurement. And so now we'll proceed on to the Lissaj's figure method to find out the phase of the signal. So to do that, we set up our oscilloscope. We set up our oscilloscope in XY mode, where we apply the first input to the horizontal plate and the second to the vertical plate, so that we get a Lissaj figure. So right now I'm just syncing. I'm just fixing at origin. And so according to, like, from the mathematics of Lissaj's figure, there will be a straight line with a slope which corresponds to 0 phase shift between the input and output signals. So as I increase the frequency of the signal, so as I just increase the frequency of the signal, so the straight line becomes an ellipse, which actually means that there is some phase difference between the input and output signals. And the phase shift can be exactly calculated by measuring the distance, like the length of the line segment between the cutting the ellipse and the total length of the ellipse. So with those measurements we can find out the phase difference between the signals. And now we can see, so the ellipse becomes a circle at a point corresponding to 90-degree phase shift. So we can see this from our phase versus frequency plot. And if we increase the frequency further, the ellipse shifts in the opposite direction, and still the calculations are made. Just increase. So then after a certain frequency, the ratio in the ellipse which we described, it remains constant, meaning that the phase is just like approaching a steady value which should be 180 degrees. So now the ratio just remains almost constant, and the values are almost constant till 1 megahertz. So these readings are just captured over here in the Excel sheet. These are phase, the distance and the frequency measurements, and we have plotted this. We'll come to that later. Now we'll apply a square wave and just see the output response of the circuit. Square wave of frequency 100 Hertz and amplitude 1 volts. So we are applying a square wave input of frequency 100 Hertz and amplitude 1 volts, and just checking the output. So the above channel corresponds to the input and the bottom one corresponds to the output. So you got a square wave out here. So I'm just increasing the time resolution. So it can be seen that the input signal is pretty sharp here, whereas the output is ringing before it settles down to the 1 volt. So this ringing is caused by the limited bandwidth of the signal, because the square wave during the sharp rise, it has got higher frequency components which are possibly filtered by the system. So that is why we are observing a ringing over here. And so now coming to the implementation of the hardware. So we just faced a problem where this potentiometer was not working properly. So what happened was, if this 1K, so we just first use this potentiometer to get a 1K resistor. So if this potentiometer was connected to this circuit, the plus VDD and one of the input terminals was getting shorted. So we couldn't figure out why that happened. So we just made a connection with discrete 1K resistor components. So we didn't use the potentiometer. Then the circuit was functioning properly. So that was one bug which we spent a lot of time to resolve. Otherwise there was no problem with the circuit. Everything was fine.
You know what mistake you made?